Eric Church 2011, and his entire career for that matter, can be divided into two distinct categories: life before Chief and life after Chief.
I'm proud of what happened before. I think we laid a great foundation. I think it was a great framework that allowed Chief to do what it did, but you know, it's far exceeded any expectation I had. I've seen a lot of other people have those years where you go, love to have a year like that. You know, so this has been, we're having one of those years, you know, and we hope next year is the same thing. The great thing about Chief is it's a young record. We're on our second single. There's a lot in front of us off this record. And, you know, and there's a lot that I think the record will still do. I mean, my favorite song is still ahead of us, which is Springsteen. Yeah. So I still think there's a ways to go with this one. Like a soundtrack to a July Saturday night. Springsteen. When I sing that song, I mean, I'm 17 again, and I'm on the lawn at Verizon Wireless Amphitheater in Charlotte, North Carolina. I don't really remember her name. I wouldn't say if I did. But I know the relationship didn't last very long. It lasted about 2 weeks, but I'll never forget, every time I hear that artist's song, I think about her. No idea if she thinks about me, you know, but it's just cool how music can transcend that.
So if the artist in the song really wasn't Bruce Springsteen, who was it?
I'm not gonna tell you who it was.
Really?
Yep, I've said I wouldn't do that, because I think it needs to be my artist, you know.
Eric begins 2012 with his first headlining tour, Blood, Sweat, and Beers, which is getting set to launch January 19th in Fort Smith, Arkansas, with opening act Brantley Gilbert.
I mean, I think it's going to be a unique tour. It's going to be very in your face, which, like our shows have always been. The challenge for me is, how do you take a bigger place and make it small? And I look forward to that challenge.
This time last year, it was all about making music. Now it's about creating the best way to share that music with his fans.
I do not like the record-making process. I get so tied up in it. It consumes me so much. The most frustrating thing for me is having this song that you know is a great song. And it's your responsibility to start with a great song and end up with a great recorded song. And that process from A to B is painful, absolutely painful, because so many things can go wrong and have gone wrong. For me, when it's time to be artistic and creative and to make a record, it's 100%. And then now, I mean, it's more about the business and about the planning the tour and about, you know, setting this thing up for the next year, which is great. I enjoy being involved in that with the staging and the show and those type of things.
The downside of hitting the road this time is he's going to have to spend time away from his wife, Catherine, and his new son, Boone McCoy.
It's totally redefined what home is to me, you know, and what home means. And especially being a person who tours and travels all the time, it's been a life-changing thing. The funniest part is, you know, even from jump, even from birth, you know, you're the least qualified person in the room. The dad is. Yeah. Heavily. There's doctors, there's nurses, and there's the mother. And who do they hand the baby to? 30 seconds into him coming out, me. And it's my job to not drop him and to keep him alive until somebody more qualified can get a hold of him. And it was the most nerve-wracking friggin' thing I've ever done in my life. I mean, I had to sit down. It was so nerve-wracking for me. And just a huge moment.
So is fatherhood taming the outlaw inside?
I don't know yet. You know, it's a tough question, because at 10 weeks it's hard. We're not getting a whole lot of sleep. I called a songwriting buddy of mine who I wrote Drink in My Hand with. And I called him and I said, man, do you ever get sleep? You know, this parenting thing. And he said, yeah. He said, well, you get a little bit of sleep the night after they steal your truck and roll it in a ditch and the cops call and you got to go pick them up. You get a little sleep when you come home that night, and I felt great. So it does get better.